Hi, I'm Malia V, and this is a continuing segment on Your Crown is Your Glory, also known as Your Crown is Your Command. And in the last segment, we talked about the training balance scale and thoughts. And on one side of the training balance scale is thoughts, the how, the attitude, the thinking, the energy, the desires, the goals, the objectives, the mental aspect, which is 99%. And it is also how not only your thinking, but how you feel. And then on the opposite side of the scale was the how, which is the 1%, which is the planning, the techniques, the hairdo, the hairstyles, the products. All of that on this side of the scale, training balance scale. And that is the 1%. Now, to expand on that, we want to say this is the why or the thought, and this is the how. Again, to emphasize that 99% of it is the why. Why are you doing it? Why do you want to be natural? Why do you continue on your natural journey? Why? What is the motivation? What are your goals? What are your dreams with this? What is your attitude? What is your mental process? How do you feel now with it? Do you feel good about it, or do you feel not so good about it? And then the other part is the how. A lot of people get caught up on the how. When you're in your transition, yes, hairstyles and looking nice is important, but the ultimate goal, especially here at Curly Crown, is to totally accept yourself for as you are and love it, which focuses on this side of the training balance scale, which is the thought, the why, to where you get to it's unconsciously competent. Okay, again, that myth is that the training balance scale is 50-50, but it is not. It's not. It's more 99, 1%. Okay, and the theory that it also should be balanced. So there is a need to understand both sides as learning information. Thought is 99% and skill is 1%. Understand that thoughts and understand the how. Focus all attention on thoughts. Thinking, do not worry about the how. The universe will provide your how. If you're thinking, how am I going to style my hair? How am I going to make it look good? How am I going to make it look acceptable? How am I going to be attractive on this date? How am I going to still look professional? How? Your thing is to worry about, I feel good. I feel beautiful. I feel accepted. I don't know how it's going to work out, but I just know it's going to all work out for the best. Keeping your attitude and your thoughts positive and focused on your goal is what you should be focusing on, not so much the how. And that is the key to getting to where you want to go, to where it is you are unconsciously competent in loving your hair. So now we're going to get into the process of the 4 steps, okay? There's 4 steps. So let's review. 1, who you listen to. Somebody who has, be, do what you have. 2, what is your teachability index? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to change in order to get the information and to be where you want to be? Number 3, training balance scale. The how and the why. The why is 99%. The how is 1%. Now we're going into the 4th concept, which is the 4 steps to process information. 1 is unconsciously competent. 2 is consciously competent. 3 is 1 is unconsciously competent. Number 2 is consciously incompetent. And then you have consciously competent, and then you have unconsciously competent. Okay, let's go over that. Unconsciously competent means you don't know what you don't know. Okay, this is where I get into where, nobody knows it all. A naturalista who's been natural all their life doesn't know it all. Things are always constantly changing. The universe is boundless. We're always sending and receiving messages. So this natural hair, I don't want to call it a movement, but this natural hair, new way to do things, is always constantly evolving and changing. So we're going to say unconsciously competent is when you don't know what you don't know. And then you got to consciously incompetent, where you know what you don't know. You know that you don't know. And then consciously competent is know what you know, and then unconsciously competent where it becomes automatic and it gets put on autopilot. And that's the point where Curly Crown wants to get you when the magic happens. So it's just like tying a shoelace. If you have a baby, they don't know to have a shoelace that needs to be tied. So that's an example of unconsciously incompetent. You don't know. They don't know that this is supposed to be tied and that's the shoelace, and you tie your shoelace. And then they get older and they know, okay, my shoelace needs to be tied, but I don't know how to tie it. Mommy, daddy, or whoever, please help me tie my shoelace so I don't trip and fall, to the point where you get to consciously competent, where they're learning how to tie their shoelace. They're grabbing it, putting in the rabbit goes in the hole and comes out, jumps over the heel, and then you tie it, and then it's done. To where they become, 8, 9, 10, they're just zooming away, doing their tying their shoelaces like they've done it all their lives. It has unconsciously competent, where they do it as second nature. It's like driving a car. When first, you're in the car, you're on the passenger seat, and then you recognize that, hey, someone is actually driving, and then now I want to drive, and now I'm in the driver's seat, and I'm nervous. I'm not doing anything but focusing on the road. That's what I'm doing. I'm learning how to drive, to the point where you're driving second nature. And sometimes you go to work and make it back home from work, and you don't even remember driving because your mind was somewhere else, because you've been driving so long, been doing it so much that it's unconscious to you. It's second nature to you. That is the unconscious competence. That is the point where we want to get you to. And as far as your hair is not, it's an extension of you, and doing it every day and having to deal with the ups and downs of it, and being able to cope with it and still loving it, is an unconsciously competent, I wouldn't want to say response, but where you would want to be, to where it's second nature of your hair. And it's not, people don't make such a big deal. Oh, you're natural. No, it's already done. We're already at the point where we're driving home. We're thinking about dinner and we're driving, because driving is second nature. So I want you to marinate on that subject, and I'll see you next time. Again, my name is Malia V with Curly Crown.